Yeah, so the title of this project is Use LEDs to Improve Ornamental Crops Production. I'm the PI. We got David Llewellyn and two graduate students, Jordan and James, we're involved in. We also get Theo Blom, we are all from the University of Guelph, but we have Siobhan Dable, and you know, she's from Omafra. For this presentation, I'm only gonna focus on extend shelf life of potted ornamental plants. We done quite a bit things over these 5 years on different things. So I reported them to you in the past, and then if you want to know more about this, I can send you the report. So here, I'm really gonna just focus on the shelf life of potted ornamental plants. So there are two objectives for this. One is to investigate what the factors can contribute to shorten shelf life of potted ornamental plants. And the second one is to investigate whether lighting and irrigation treatments applied prior to shipping the plants to retailers could extend or help extend the shelf life. So first, if we look at the factors which can contribute to the shelf life of the plants, you know that for the growers, you guys are doing a fantastic job producing very nice plants. And then you keep them in your holding area and then load them to trucks and then ship into different resale stores. But quite often in the retail stores, the plants are not doing well, and quite often we are paid, well, you guys get paid by scan. So if the plant dies, then you don't get paid. So we want to see what's the factors from the greenhouse to the retail stores, what the factors are affecting the shelf life of these plants. But we started from a greenhouse, used these three crops, poinsettia, polka dot plant, and calancho. Of course, you know these two polka dot plants and calancho, they are very tough, and poinsettia and it's not as tough. But anyway, we evaluated the quality in the greenhouse, the holding places, and then rated them, and then measured all the environmental conditions in this holding facility. And then we put them on racks, wrap them as the growers normally do, and then put different sensors into the shelf. So when they go into the truck, they're monitoring the condition of the trucking environment. And then we take them to, or the trucker took them to different stores. And then in a store, we just monitoring and the plant's performance. And then we found that even just 6 days, when the plants are in the stores, they start to show different signs of quality declining. But of course, different species, they respond differently, like poinsettia here for this trial. The quality declined faster, but of course, if you get damaged, the plants even get worse faster than polka dot plant. They are much tougher, but you still see some damages, wiltings here. You can see here if you leave them there too long, not managed well. Calendula plants, as you know, they are tough, but you still, when they are in the retail store for some days, they become not as good looking as they were in the grower's place. For example, the flowers can change color. Some of the leaves don't really, flowers don't bloom anymore. And the leaves can start wilt and when it's getting worse. So you can see here, poinsettia, the quality rating, and from the higher number means good quality. When it's in the greenhouse, we rated them about 9, and then that's post shipping and retail place for 4 days, 6 days, 10 days. So we got this data, but I'm not going to show you for each individual plants. Basically, is when the plants stayed in the stores, not get sold, they're getting really bad. Nobody would buy them. These are not our experimental plants we saw in the resale stores. They look really like that for some days. They stayed there, like here. Nobody would buy these plants anymore, and then this is a loss for the growers. And so basically we found loads of factors can affect the quality of the plants and shorten their shelf life. One is the temperature. In the resale stores, day and night, it's the same temperature. And the humidity normally very low. It's below 30% during winter time. Wind, it's not supposed to have wind, but if it really depends on where they put the plants. If they are close to vent, you got hot air coming in, or if sometimes we found that they put them close to doors when people come in and then they get exposed. The light condition, you see the plants are placed in different levels of the shelf. And when they are here at the lower shelves, the light condition is really low. It's less than 1 micromole per square meter per second. As you all know that at your house or at the retail stores normally, and on the top here at your level, when you walk into the room, the light level is about 5 to 10 micromole. But the plants here, if they keep them in the lower part, they were kept in dark for too long, that's gonna affect them very badly. And watering is one major issue. The plants were either watered too much, we saw that, and or not watered. And especially when they are not watered, when they need to be watered, they just dry. And this trial looks like it's the simplest trial to do, but we found this was one of the most challenging trial to do, actually. We thought we would put all the sensors in the truck, and then the truck will deliver all the plants to the stores we want them to get there. But that's not that easy. So we coordinated very well with the growers dispatching this. But when you put these sensors into the trucks, the truck go to somewhere are not controlled by the growers or us. So quite a few times we got the sensors lost somewhere. Nobody knows which store it went. Sometimes they said there are 2 stores in Ottawa. Maybe your plants were there, and then we lost that. At the retail stores as well, you cannot mark the plants for your trial because the retail store, even we signed the contract with them, they still don't like us to be there. So they don't want you to affect the people buying plants over there as well. So the plants arrive and then get sold, and then when you are monitoring that plants, it's gone. And so it's tough. It's not as easy as we thought. But we still got some data. We are still processing the data. We're gonna report to you. So the report is gonna be a little bit more comprehensive. But again, it's not easy. And the conclusion here is really the retail environment or the care of these plants need to be improved so we don't lose that much plants. And the next thing I'm going to talk to you is how to use light and irrigation to hardy plants before shipping. So a couple of weeks ago, before the plants are ready for shipping, if we could do some light treatment. When I say light treatment, because we know that some research already demonstrated the UV and blue, this type of lights can increase plants' antioxidant content. When the plant's antioxidant content increases, maybe they are more resistant to stresses. And then also water. If you hold the water to harden the plants a little bit, you may also increase the plant's hardiness to survive longer. So that's the idea based on loads of research of the literature. So we have two treatments. One is lighting. Lighting, we just 2 weeks before shipping, we grow the plants under HPS light, or HPS add some UVA. Another treatment is just blue and red LED, but the blue was 50% blue, and supplemental lighting. Irrigation, we had two irrigation. One is well watered, one is water stressed. When the water stressed, the treatment is that we wait until we see a little bit sign of wilting, and then we start to water. Before that, we don't. But of course, sometimes when you do this treatment, some plants may show that, some plants don't. So what we were trying to do is to monitor the water content, decide a water content at that level, the plants were under stress. So here is the light spectrum we used for high pressure sodium light. As you can see here, it's have some light from 400 to 700 nanometer, and the majority of the wavelengths is between 550 to 650. That's why you see your HPS is a little bit yellowish. And the LED is with 50% blue, 50% red. And then the UVA is about 385 nanometer. So that's the light treatment. We used 4 species: miniature roses, calantro, gabbro, and hydrangea. And so here is what we did. We did 2 experiments because the numbers of plants involved, each time we couldn't do that many. So we have to divide this into 2 different times. The first experiment, we involved miniature roses and calantro. The second one, hydrangea and gabbro, but all of them are 2 weeks pre-treatment, and then mimic shipping for 4 days, and then retail phase, that's semination as well. For the first trial, we did for 7 days, the second trial, 14 days. So you can see here, so we got plants from greenhouses. They told us, oh, come to get your plants, because 2 weeks from here, we're gonna ship them. So we got all the plants to our greenhouses, put them on the different light treatment. And those are supplemental lighting. They are also exposed to natural lighting. And then watched them differently here and here, you can see. And then during the trial, we control the environmental condition the same as the growers' environmental conditions. And then here is the simulated shipping. So when we did this, they were just mimicking the truck. And so it's dark inside. The temperature was about 11 to 12 degrees, humidity 60%. And then after a few days, then we take them out and put them into this environment to simulate the retail environment. The only thing we did better than the retail place is that the plants were watered when they need to be watered. The temperature in the room was 20 to 23 degrees. Humidity was about 30%. Light condition is about 5 micromole. As I mentioned, most of the retail stores using that kind of light level. So we evaluated the plant quality at different stages at the end of the production and before shipping and after shipping, after simulated retail. So for the first experiment for these two crops, we measured the canopy structure, inflorescence, senescence, leaf coloring, lower leaf chlorosis, and total number of flowers, open flowers. And the second trial used hydrangea and gabbro. So the plants were different. So we measured different things: flower quality, leaf quality, flower number, opened, closed, partially opened, bud number, flora browning, especially hydrangea. And when it's getting worse, the flower turn into brown. So with all of this, we assessed the plant's quality. So here is one example that we used this as number 5, which is the good quality, and then goes down here. Number 1 is bad quality, nobody would buy it. And gabbro, it's the same, good quality, and then goes down. So we used this criteria. So you can see that, if you look at the foliage quality for gabbro, and the end of production, there was almost no difference. The red one under HPS, LED, HPS plus UV. So the quality at the end of the production, there was almost no different. But end of the retail, the quality of the plants treated under LED or HPS plus UV actually get a little bit worse than comparing to the HPS. But it's not that much, even they are statistically significant, but that really in reality, when you put these plants together, it's hard to tell. So I'm not gonna show you all the graphs, but here I will show you some summaries. And I just check my time. Summaries for different plants. So basically, end of the retail, and the lighting treatment didn't have any effect on the greenness, even the top, middle, and bottom leaves, foliage quality at different locations, bud number, flower opening. Really, the lightning only had a little bit effect here, is the top foliage quality. under HPS was slightly better. And the foliage quality at the bottom, when the plants were watered too much, Gabriel doesn't like it. Well, not watered too much, dried too much, okay? So Gabriel certainly doesn't like to be dried. They want to be fed, but not too much water. So that's the only two small differences here. For miniature roses, really the lighting treatment or irrigation didn't do anything to extend the shelf life of these plants. For calendula, lighting didn't do anything, irrigation, the drought stress just slightly improved the middle leaves greenness, but again, it's not big deal. Hydrangea, almost no different. The only thing lighting had a little bit browning effect is the plant under LED was browned a little bit more, but again, it's not substantial, I would say. Statistically, it is a little bit worse, but not substantial. So overall, the take-home message is all the treatments, all the light treatment and water treatment did not extend the shelf life of the tested plants. And Gabriel calendulas and miniature roses grow under LED resulted in similar quality plants to the control, which used HPS, and then was used in the greenhouse. So if people are thinking of replacing HPS with LED for these plants, that's still good because LED is more energy efficient. All the commodities saw a declining in at least one quality parameter from simulated shipping and retail conditions. So this certainly the post-harvest, the shipping and retail conditions worst these plants' quality. As I already mentioned, that partly the Gabriel doesn't like to be water stressed. And overall, we do need to work with retailers. I don't even know how to work with them to find a way to keep our plants well cared at their places, because that's the biggest loss of shelf life. So at the end, I would like to thank Flowers Canada through COHA for supporting this research. And thanks for PlusRight, Plant Pod, Sunrise, Baby Greenhouses, Hendricks, George Sand and Sons Greenhouses, Westbrook, Myers, for you guys' support, involvement, to provide us with all the guidance and then also give us plans and working with us, shaping the plans, everything. So thank you very much. And finally, I would like to thank you all for listening to me, and I will stop here, Jamie. Thanks.